Welcome back to Breaking Point, and this one goes out to all my Cubs fans out there. I can't wait to get back on the field and dominate your team, make you guys sad again. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun, but credit where credit is due. We're going to look back at Game 5 of the 2016 World Series, and you guys got me, so let's dive in. I call this crisscrossing the corner. You know, tunneling is a crazy concept. There's no way a big leaguer swings at that. If this ball's 1-7, he absolutely crushes it. Boom, that's the breaking point. The situation in Game 5 is the Indians are up 3-1. The storyline, the main storyline of this game is that Joe Maddon decided to call a show and go. And so this was all the discussion on TV and with all the analysts before the game. It was like, oh, you know, with my season on the line, I wouldn't want to have a show and go. I'd want to get there and be super prepared and blah, blah, blah. When I heard it, I knew exactly what was going on. The Cubs were the big favorite in this series. My Indians were a big underdog. We were hot, but the Cubs were probably the best team in baseball that year, and they were supposed to win, and they were down 3-1. So I got to imagine there was a lot of pressure on them, a lot of pressing in the locker room. A lot of them were feeling like kind of their heads were spinning. I got to imagine that's what was going on. So then Joe does exactly the right thing, and he calls for a show and go. Like, hey, let's just relax. Let's go out there and play the game and see what happens. So when I heard that, I was like, uh-oh, we need to make sure and win tonight. So we just end it, and we don't give them any chance, any hope, nothing to get excited about, because if they roll into today and they win today, they're going to be excited. They're going to feel all the pressure's off. They're going to have a new mindset, and they're going to be a lot more difficult to beat. So that's my mindset going into the game. So the first 3 innings go by. I think this is the 4th. Yeah, the first 3 innings go by, and I pitched really well, and we were up 1-0. And knowing our strategy in this playoffs, I knew I wasn't going to face more than 18 batters. All the numbers say that the third time through, starting pitchers are way less effective. Plus, Andrew Miller and Cody Allen, and Brian Shaw, and the bullpen was absolutely nasty this series. So we were basically pitching this with Corey Kluber was carrying us, and Josh Tomlin was pitching extremely well, and I had my pinky thing going on. I was healthy for this game. Finally, I'd gotten perfectly healthy, but was not pitching that great and had missed a lot of time. So we were on 2.5 starting pitchers, with me being the half, and we were up 3-1 in this series. So anyway, going into it, the scouting report on these here Cubs was that they are big fastball hitters, and they don't like off-speed stuff. So I'll break it down to each individual hitter as I go, what the report is, but they're all going to be very similar. So here's the strike zone. Going in, if you get sinkers in this area, a lot of swing and miss, a lot of swing, chases a lot. If you get 4 seams up in this area, you can beat him. If you get off-speed stuff anywhere this way of this line, you can beat him. But very dangerous on sinkers that, let me put my strike zone back up. Whoops. Very dangerous on sinkers that catch this part of the plate. He loves hitting this pitch, which is why he chases the one that's over here. But if you get it in the zone, he likes hitting it. And if you hang off-speed stuff in here, he'll crush it. So this is what I know going in. I faced him once already this game, and here we go. So we start off with trying to go with a 4-seam up and in, and I miss up and away. Next pitch, we go back to that cutter, that off-speed, kind of down to the left of that line that I drew. There's a strike, and now we're going up here. Berto calls for a fastball, expecting a 4-seam up in this area. I chose to throw a 2-seam, trying to throw it down in this area. And if you just look at where the glove is, you can see that glove drift out over the plate a little bit. Wants it there, gets to there. This is a 2-seam. If we draw our strike zone, boom. This 2-seam is intended to be here. In my mind, Berto's thinking fastball here, but it gets right in that middle of the plate, the danger zone, and we get the homer. All right. Next up, I guess I'll just play through the rest of it so that you guys see what happens, and then I'll come back to Rizzo. I should have played it before. I just forgot. Here we go. Next pitch. Guys, it's going to be so painful just watching this all the way through again. That's the one at bat of the inning that I didn't execute well, and I regret that one more than anything. Get a little swinging bunt. There we go. Execute really well on that one. Get the out I'm looking for. What are you doing, Javi? Another bunt. Good old Rossi. Get the sac fly. Make it 3-1. Let me get Lester up at the plate. And I finally get out of it. And the inning's over. All right. Let's get back ahead here. Now you guys have re-seen what's happened. There's the homer. After the homer, I should have known that Rizzo was going to be aggressive. He's generally not super aggressive from what I know. I haven't faced him a whole lot, but I know he will swing. He's just kind of average, maybe slightly above average, but knowing what I knew going in, that they needed a spark. They were looking for some spark to get him going, to make him believe that they could get it done. That homer from Bryant did it for him. And then we come back with this pitch that is in a good location. So against Rizzo, he crowds the plate. He likes the ball in. It's kind of similar to Bryant. If you get the ball in this area, he can hit it. But if you get it kind of here and up, he swings at it a lot, but he doesn't get to it very well. So I actually execute this ball really well. It was probably the wrong pitch. Knowing that he's going to be hacking, I probably should have gone with something off speed. But he swings, and all the Cubs fans think it's a homer. Gets into a place in this really weird corner in Wrigley. Kind of the wall juts in right there. It's really odd. There's really no other ballpark that's like it. Ball hits high up in the ivy. Brandon actually does a really good job here of corralling it and getting it in, and we end up with potential play at second. The throw's just a little bit offline, and there's another spark, I guess, or something to get him fired up. Leading into this, Brian and Rizzo had been very, very cold. We dominated them quite a bit, mostly using just a ton of off-speed stuff. So they finally got going, and it gave them personally a spark, but it gave the Cubs fans a spark, and it gave the dugout a spark. Wrigley had been super quiet up to this point. Like game 3 and 4, it was silent pretty much. Up until this point, we were leading, and it was basically silent. And then this inning is when the crowd really came alive. So now this at bat, like I said earlier, is the one that I really kind of regret. Zobrist is not going to swing first pitch unless the ball's here. That's the scouting report on him, and he's just a very good hitter. He can hit everything. It's not like you can dominate him with a curveball or dominate him with up fastballs or something else like that. He can hit everything. He's actually, I think he was the MVP of the series, perhaps. I don't remember who got that, but he played really well this series. So what I should have done is I should have thrown a fastball or something just middle of the zone, assuming that he's going to take. But I didn't. Coming off of the last 2 pitches that I threw were fastballs and they got whacked, I decided to go with an off-speed pitch. Now, it's fine if I land it, but I don't land this pitch because I'm a little bit scared right now of throwing a strike because I know they're going to be aggressive. So I throw a little bit more of an aggressive curveball. It's out of the zone, and he doesn't swing. Next pitch comes, and I back him off. 1-0 count here. He's definitely not going to swing. He has no intention of really swinging at this pitch. This is why I say this is the at-bat that I regret the most. Here's a 2-0 count. I'm thinking, oh, he's going to swing for sure because they're being aggressive, and I throw him a changeup that's below the zone. It's actually a pretty good changeup. It probably looks like a fastball. It's going to be knee high or something, but 2-0 count, he's being super selective. He's only going to swing if it's a pitch that's kind of in that area that he feels like he can really do some damage on or put a really quality swing on. And now we end up in a 3-0 count. I don't want to walk him to give him more excitement, I guess, or more reason to believe. So now I finally throw the pitch right down the middle that I should have thrown first pitch, and it's 3-0. He's on it. I'm lucky that ball didn't leave the ballpark, honestly. That's not really Ben's game. He's more of a gap-to-gap type of guy, which obviously is what he does here. He gets a single. But really, that sequence could have been a lot worse for me. Rizzo there, not the fleetest of foot, so we end up in a first and third situation. And then this is where things start unraveling. I feel like I execute well and get burnt on a couple things here. So first pitch, Berto does a good job of getting the strike call. Next pitch, this is Joe Maddon. Looking for a spark, throwing anything at the wall. Really likes his safety squeeze plays, and we knew this going in. I didn't expect Russell to be the one doing it, but the report was going in that anyone in the lineup will do it at any time. So good time for it. Try to take the lead, play from ahead. They hadn't been ahead much this entire series. So he goes to bunt it, and this ball's kind of up and away, foul ball, and now I'm in a really good position. So what I'm thinking here is I can get a strikeout here. I know I have a good matchup on deck, and I feel pretty good about my chances to get out of this, perhaps get a double play, something like that. So I don't want this run to score to give up the lead, so I go for the curveball down. He actually does a pretty good job here of taking it. He's notoriously a free swinger. And then we come back with this curveball that's not even a strike. This ball is, over the white of the lefty batter's box. Does a really good job of just making contact, giving himself a chance. In an ideal world, this ball is well hit to third. Where the runner on third can't advance, and we can get an out or turn a double play. In the actual world, this ball is hit so poorly that Jose has to charge it. 2 strikes, Jose's playing back here to give himself the best chance of covering something that's down the line or having the most range that he can have so we can try to turn a double play. In this case, if we can get 2 outs and give up a run, we're going to make that trade. So Jose's really deep. He's coming in trying to make this play. The ball actually is squibbed in a way that it has spin on it, so you can watch this ball kick back in the last second. The ball kicks back this way. And you can watch Jose as he's coming in. He's going to field it, and then it takes his glove kind of back towards the line. And he almost, I guess he does bobble a little bit right there. But mostly what happens is it knocks his footwork off. And this ball had so much spin after being pounded into the ground that he's just trying to make sure it doesn't get by him. And so it takes him a couple extra steps. So the ball hits his glove here. Usually he's very good. The ball hits his glove, 1 more step throw. But it takes him 1, 2 steps, then throw, and then over here we're a step late or 2 steps late from getting an out. So works out perfectly in the Cubs' favor. 2-1, still nobody out. I know I have this good matchup on deck. The report here is hard here, soft there. That he pretty much handles hard right here and not a whole lot else. We're going to be very heavy on off-speed stuff and heavy on fastballs up. So that's the report. I decide to start with the fastball up, and we get the swing that we're looking for. Throw it by him. I go higher, don't get the swing. I go back up there, get that swing that we're looking for, that foul ball. Go back up there 1 more time, a little bit higher, trying to get that either the pop-up on the infield or the strikeout. Fouls off. Now's a great time for that curveball down. Throw this one that's actually really well executed. Looks like something that's a little bit lower you can get to. And he swings. Tries to hold up, but we get the first out of the inning. And I love this. Points down there, he bangs him, and it's just staring. Just looking in at him. I love that reaction. Just Little lick lip. It's like, this is my moment. You know, you're out. Little spit. Little lick lip, just staring him down. Love when umpires they just get so excited, you know? It's like they're down there, that no one really sees them. They don't get any action really that game. Maybe a couple plays, and they get a chance. Yeah, you're out. That's right. And they stare at you as long as possible. I love it. All right, Baez is up now. Again, this one, young Baez is kind of first couple years in the league, very free swinger, going to hit anything hard in here, but is not going to hit anything soft, basically anywhere outside of just middle. So anything down here he's going to swing at quite a bit. So we're planning on abusing him with off-speed stuff. And the reason I say abusing him with off-speed stuff is because that's kind of how we talked about it. You know, we wanted to be in an aggressive mindset going into the game, into the series, and we were just, you know, that was the terminology that we were using as pitchers to put us in that mindset. We're going to abuse these hitters. We're going to just, you know, whatever the case is. So just kind of inside speak. Here we go. There's that cutter away. One really cool thing here is to watch how Berto positions himself. So he's here. As the pitch is coming, he's drifting this way. Right there, you can see this little drift out. And that's to set himself up outside of the baseball so that when he catches it, his body's naturally drifting back this way a little bit. So we take a ball that's really borderline, but if you watch the direction his body's going, it's shifting back in towards the plate a little bit right there naturally, and so we get the call. So that's one of the many reasons he's a very good pitch framer and generally a great receiver. So now we're going to go with the curveball, 0-1. I know if I throw a curveball in the zone, it's a very good matchup for me in this case. And Javi, for the first time literally all season, decides he's going to bunt. I don't think he may have had like a bunt in his big league career, maybe. And it might have been a safety squeeze. It's a long time ago. I don't remember exactly what was talked about, but I'm pretty sure he didn't have any bunts. He's a free swinger. He's a power guy. So he lays this down. Jose is way back here, rightfully so, because Javi never bunts. So why would you be in here? You're going to be back here to give yourself as much range as possible to either come to a ball on this side and try to turn a double play, or to get to a ball on this side and turn this double play over here. Javi, for whatever reason, this inning, everything went right for him. Drops down this perfect bunt. I've never seen such a perfect bunt from a non-bunter before. Just nothing Jose can do. Just trying to make anything happen. Nothing doing. So now we're in bases loaded. And things are kind of spinning. So now I know I have the pitcher on deck, but I don't have anywhere to put good old Rossi. And I got to get him out. The report on him, he wasn't having a very good offensive season, was struggling in the postseason, and was getting beat by velocity. On the back, last legs of the career, barrel's a little bit slow. So the plan was to kind of stay away from this area in here, that he's going to hit things that are down in there. But if you get anything this way of it or anything above it with velo, he's probably going to be an out. Slow as well, being a catcher, and so I'm looking to get something that's on the ground, or I should have been. The problem is, at this point, I'm like, I need to get out of this. I need to strike this guy out so that there's no more chance of any little ball in play beating me or scoring another run. And so here we go. We're going to attack him right there. Attack him with a cutter first. Probably a bad pitch. I get away with one. And then we go hard up and away. Hard up and away. And this is kind of what we've been seeing. Fastballs has just been beating him. Wasn't able to get to him. Try to go freeze pitch down and away. Miss. Go back to it and go away. Really kind of a desperation, like last minute, just fouling this pitch off swing. And then we're going to go in because I'm looking to go up here and get the swing and miss. What I should have done is after going away, I should have thrown a curveball or something down, or at least moving down, that he'd be out in front of, and he'd roll it over and give me a chance at a double play. I went to try to go up there for the strikeout, and what happens? I just leave it in a zone, like I said, to kind of start this at bat. I leave this in a zone that is kind of where he's going to be able to do some damage. Now, he doesn't hit it super well, just kind of like pulls his hands through and just pops it up, but it's well enough that sac fly, get a run scoring. So now it's 3-1. Now they have all the momentum. And then, not much to see here. Pitcher's up. Probably, generally when pitchers come up, it's fastball away. I choose to go in here, backs him off the plate a little bit. But John has no intention really of doing much in this situation, I don't think, going into it anyway. So I was just like, I'm going to throw fastballs in the zone. And then he takes this swing. This is a good swing. He is right on that ball. And that's that typical, fastball way that pitchers will default to against pitchers, and he fouls it off. But that's actually a really good swing. And then I go down a little bit, kind of a little bit over it, fouls it off, and then we get the freeze, get this little buckle with the curveball to finally get out of it. But this inning was so close to being in my favor and so very far from being in my favor, but this is really the turning point of the 2016 World Series. This is the first time that the Cubs kind of relaxed a little bit with the show and go. First time something really went their way. One of their stars got off and hit the homer. Another star, Rizzo, came up and banged a ball off the wall. Baez laid down a bunt. The lineup started clicking. Zobrist had a good at bat, and then gave him some confidence. Lester, I think, stranded 11 people in scoring position in this game. So lots of big situations. They kind of grinded their way through it to get to 3-2, went back to Cleveland. We played a very bad defensive Game 6, and then Game 7 was one for the record books, and everyone kind of knows that one. But Game 5, this inning 4, I was cruising right along, and then made the mistake of throwing a two-seam. Not my bread and butter, throwing down and in two-seams. I'm more of a four-seam guy. Made the mistake of trying to go to it and get a little bit too tricky, and paid the price for it. And then the Cubs lineup got clicking, and the rest is history, as they say. So that was kind of painful to look back at, but hopefully it's the last time I ever see the Cubs beat me. All my Cubs fans out there, I'm coming for you guys. But anyway, hopefully you learned something, got some inside information. It's kind of fun looking back at historical moments like that and looking at, what I did and didn't do and what I executed and didn't execute well and all that, especially with the understanding that I have of baseball now and reading body language and different pitch sequences and what's good and bad and all that different stuff. It's fun looking back at myself and wondering why I chose this or seeing the mistakes of my ways. But anyway, that's today's episode. Game 5 of the World Series in 2016 when everything kind of shifted and all the momentum changed. And be nice to have a ring right now. That sucks. Anyway, that's today's episode. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It would help me a lot. Trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. So if you haven't done that, help me out. Hit that subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Other things you'd like to see me break down. Comments on this game, where you were when the series was going on. Anything you'd like to let me know. If you just want to say that Cubs own me or that I suck or I caused the Indians to lose the World Series, it was my fault. If I blew a 3-1 lead. What other jokes could you guys make about this? Something about a drone in my pinky. If you want to leave those down in the comments below, just know that I already beat you to it. All you people that aren't going to watch the full video, and just leave this stuff in the comments for me. But I appreciate all the comments. Anything you want to see next, any at-bats, any themes, anything like that. If you'd let me know, that'd be great. If anyone doesn't know about this channel, let them know about it. That'd help me entertain more people and get information out to more people. So hope everyone's staying happy, staying healthy. Hopefully we have baseball back very, very soon. Look forward to doing more of these, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.